Alright, I'm gonna make a video today. The reason I want to make this video, I'm at work, and usually when I'm at work, when I get good enough signal and stuff, then I play, YouTube in the background and listen to videos and things like that. And that's what I was doing earlier. I was watching Set Apart Homestead video. I think it was a pretty good video, and I cut it off so you can hear. So I got so there's no AC. It's a little warm in here, so I figured I'd open the door and get a breeze. But anyway, I was watching his video, and he had some good points. I'm going to take and put a link to that down in the description or comments or something like that, so you can check it out if you hadn't checked him out. But anyway, he was talking about with things going on now with the riots and all of what's going on. Everybody knows, that's all you hear about. It's pretty much like the coronavirus. It's the hot topic of the month. And anyway, everybody that's probably in anything, any kind of news or blogs or talk shows, YouTube channels, preppers, whatever, has some kind of video on it, some kind of thoughts, like everybody. Anyway, I'm going to touch on a few things. Like I said, I don't follow it too close, but here we go. Basically, we had the super sickness that was going to kill everybody. That, of course it did a few people, and I'm not taking away from that, but I don't think it was as bad as they projected it to be. And I don't know who all watches my videos and how you feel on it and all that, but I'm against the mask wearing. I think it's stupid. I think if you're that scared that you need to wear a mask to go out in public, maybe you ought not go out in public and just stay home. But anyway, side note on that. But they were shutting businesses down, canceled church, canceled everything. You couldn't have funerals, you couldn't have weddings and all that because of the super deadly, all that crap. But as soon as I'm not getting into the whole George Floyd thing and all of that, because I'm a reasonable person. I'm white, but that doesn't matter. What I seen on the video, it was a bunch of bullcrap. Regardless of his criminal history and all that kind of stuff. I don't think whatever. But anyway, what he was doing at the time wasn't a violent crime, and I don't think he should have been killed over it. I don't think the cop was doing his job, and police brutality exists, and exists everywhere and on different levels and to any race. All that doesn't matter. They're making it a race thing, but again, the cause that it's supposed to be of police brutality and all that happens to every race. And I believe that all people matter, regardless of what color you are. That shouldn't be relevant in that situation. I believe the media hypes a lot of this stuff up, because anytime you have any kind of, murder or crime or anything like that, they always have to specifically mention race. And I don't know why. It looks like if you have two people and one shoot each other, then that's what you report. One person shot another, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, that's not the topic either. And of course, my videos are not scripted, and rambly, so you may be into that, you maybe not. But anyway, all that aside, they're now going after the statues and things like that of Jesus, which a lot of people seen coming anyway. And you know how that is. But anyway, one part of the Bible, it says not to have any graven images and to worship him in spirit and truth, and not in an image like idols. So I see that part of it. And another part of it, I don't really see the point in tearing it down just like all the other statues and things. I think statues are made of concrete and they can't hurt you unless they fall on you. And if you're out trying to knock them down, then you have more chance of being hurt by the statue falling on you from you messing with it than if you just leave it alone. But anyway, I was watching his video and he was talking about all the Antifa things and how it's not just Black Lives Matter, a civil problem, civil rights thing, that it goes deeper than that. And I believe that too. I believe it's a terrorist type operation. There's lots of theories on that, as everything. People inside the country pulling the strings, people outside pulling the strings. They're doing it for this reason, doing it for that reason. And you have to kind of ask yourself, does it even matter why they're doing it? For you and for prepping or a survival aspect or just general life, does it matter why? I don't particularly think so, because the fact is that regardless of why, it's still happening and innocent people are getting hurt in these protests and things where they're stopping traffic. Some people are getting drug out of their cars and beat up and everything else. Places are getting burnt down, businesses getting broken into and all that. But anyway, I'm not a perfect Christian, but I am one, and I've been working harder lately to try to be a better one. And I'm not perfect. I don't know all there is to know, but I do know with the fact that they're attacking Jesus and Christianity, that it talks all through the Bible about persecution. But here's the thing, they say Jesus represents white supremacy. I don't think so. I don't see anywhere in the Bible it says Jesus was white or you have to be white to get to heaven. What I did see was Jesus teaching love your neighbor as yourself, and all have sinned and come short. Unless you repent, you will not go to heaven, you will go to hell. But we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but in spiritual wickedness in high places. And if you're not a Christian, that's okay too. But Christianity is not a religion of hate. There are some that are, and you already know what that is, but Christianity is not. It doesn't matter if there was one Christian in the world or if everybody was. There would be no difference, as the fact, true Christians don't go out and burn things down. They don't go out and beat people up for no reason. They don't go out and kill people for no reason. But again, whether you're religious or not may impact your views on what's good and what's not. And again, whether you're a Christian or not, I don't see any of the morals that Christianity has that are bad, unless you're LGBT or whatever, that might affect your thought on that. But far as everything else, not to kill people, not to steal, and 10 Commandments and all that, honor your father and mother. Exactly what part of that is bad, whether you're a Christian or not? Shouldn't that be things that everybody does just to be a decent human being? If everybody in the world actually lived by those codes and did those things, you wouldn't have what's going on today. But anyway, that part being said, moving on to all the current events, like I said, whether what reason or who's pulling the strings or whatever, all that kind of stuff, even the coronavirus, how it originated and all that kind of stuff, none of that matters. The fact is that it is. And with prepping, it doesn't matter who you are, what race you are, what religion you are. It's a good idea. Because you never know what's coming, regardless of why it happens. And that goes from everything with, war, pandemic, civil unrest, economic collapse, natural disasters, tornadoes, floods, and all that kind of stuff. Everything, can be made better with being prepared. With everything, with the pandemic, with stores being closed and things not being available and everything, everybody was losing their mind. And they said, how do they expect people to live not being able to go to the grocery store? Or what are you supposed to do if you can't get toilet paper and all this kind of stuff? And that kind of goes to the basics of prepping. That's why you have stuff in advance in case you can't go get that stuff. The people who are, squared away prepping were not losing their mind over not being able to go to the store. Everybody, had the same opinion that the lockdown sucked and, the virus being around sucks. But, they still had food and basic things like that, and it wasn't as big of a deal. Of course, people still went to the store to, top off whatever they could get, and, the more you have, the better off you are, but not to be, down to your last toilet paper or your last meal. That's a lot better feeling than to be out like that. And a lot of people were all over TV and Facebook and stuff crying about people hoarding and stuff like that. And being a prepper and a hoarder is two different things. Most preppers get all of their things a little bit at a time, buying a little extra each time you go, and maybe doing your long-term store in bulk, like big bags of beans and rice, and then putting in the Mylar bags and things like that. But as far as everything else, buying a little bit ahead while the stores were full and nobody was lacking for it. Most preppers, even when they went to the store during this, didn't hoard stuff. They got what they needed and relied on their preps for if they couldn't get it anymore. Where some people that didn't have it, or that wasn't prepped, or ones that thought they could make a few extra bucks by buying it all and reselling it, they were the ones that were hoarding, not the preppers. That's generally a good idea. And back in the old days, everybody was a prepper, whether you called it that or not. Everybody believed in having extra food in the house. Most everybody had gardens. Most everybody knew how to actually do things for themselves and not depend on a system to do it for you. And I believe that that's a good idea and a good way to be. The same way with guns. When the pandemic come, people were going crazy over guns because they told them that the police weren't coming unless it was something very serious. And then with the civil unrest, now they're trying to do away with, cops altogether, or at least make them non-effective. And basically, at that point, you're just on your own. You have to fend for yourself. And then more people were going out and panic buying guns. And where preppers, still have, had the guns and ammo and stuff stocked up. Of course, some people want to buy more guns. I'm one of those people. I like guns. And, more ammo, so you have, what you have for your preps, for your stock, and then you have what you have to train with and plink and whatever. But, even if snap your finger and all the guns were wiped out, ammo wiped out, you're still not lacking. You have something to protect yourself and protect your family. And, I just don't really see an argument against being prepared. Because those people, regardless of what they say, they like people being prepared. If they have nothing, if they don't believe in guns or don't have a gun, and if they're getting robbed on the street or their house getting broken into, they call the police, which are prepared with guns for that kind of situation. If you have your house catch on fire, they call the fire department, which is prepared to deal with that type of thing. If they get sick, they call an ambulance or go to a hospital or whatever to be where people are prepared to handle that type of thing. If you see what I'm getting at, I mean, even if that's their job, that's basically what it comes down to. They are prepared to do those certain things. And as a prepper, I believe that your goal is to be, at least at a basic level, prepared to do those things yourself and not be counting on somebody else. Basically, just that type of thing. It's a good idea to have medical stuff, at least basic medical first aid kits and stuff, and then know something about it, which I need more medical training too. But, a lot of times if you're out and you get in a bad car wreck or something, or you fall or any kind of accident, you're losing a lot of blood or whatever, you don't have time to call somebody that is their job to do that. Again, I'm not an expert on it, but things like femoral arteries, I believe if that gets cut, which can very well happen in a major car wreck, I believe that you bleed out in like 2 minutes or something like that, 2 or 3 minutes. So unless you are actually in front of an ambulance before you had the wreck, your chances are pretty slim. I think it's a good idea to carry your medical stuff with you, like tourniquets and stop bleed and stuff like that. At least give you a fighting chance, maybe. But anyway, I guess that's about all I got on this video. Just kind of some general thoughts and things. And I try to encourage people to, if you're not a prepper, to start. Or if you're not, where you need to be, if you're just getting started with the very basics, I would suggest trying to get a little more prepared. I believe that we've got a few things against us with the pandemic. you know for a fact that it's coming back. It's not over. Whether it's made up or whether it's real, they're going to ride that pony. It's coming back. I see a few videos of people talking about that it's coming back now, that, you know, the numbers are rising and that kind of thing. But anyway, with that and what happened in the first go around, I believe there's going to be a food shortage. Maybe not food not available, but it's going to be way more expensive. So you should have food stocked up, and you should be growing a garden, I believe. It's not quite too late, at least not where I'm at in Virginia. You can still plant what we call a late garden up till about, you know, beginning of July or mid-July, and still get a harvest out of it. I believe with all the civil unrest, that's going to get worse. It may blow up into a civil war. It may not. But at the same time, I believe you ought to have guns and ammo and know how to use them. And I do encourage you to have body armor, at least soft armor, because you never know what's going to happen. And it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to put that link down somewhere in the comment or description or something. But anyway, stay prayed up, prepped up, and strapped up. See ya.